हमारे प्यारे प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, साहू अखिलेश जैन और त्रिचला जैन, श्री लीलाधर मंडलोई जो निदेशक हैं ज्ञानपीठ के, and other respected members of the Jnanpith Trust, and also the members of the selection committee, some of them may be here, and all of you, my dear friends who have honored me by your august presence here in this hall. आप सबको मेरा प्रणाम। I will speak for about 8 minutes or 10 minutes, briefly pointing out what thoughts have emerged in my mind now. As I am being honored by the Golden Jubilee Jnanpith Award, I simply do not know how to face this unprecedented recognition. And I gropingly reach for a quotation, and as usual, Ghalib comes to my risk as I remember him. Aina dekh, apna sa muh leke rah gaye. That is the thought that came into my mind. I have been actively associated with several national institutions, but I should admit that we have not been able to build many such institutions of the caliber of Jnanpith. Building national standard has been one of our priorities after independence. And to receive the generosity of such an institution and to deserve it is a unique feeling of apprehension I get at this moment. And as a personal token of gratitude, I promise to Chairman Sri Namwarji and Pradhan Mantri ji and to all of you, I promise that I shall always abide by my commitment to record our times accurately, to write what is right. Writing binds me to my readers and in turn to humanity, to the time and the place, which I interpret as and Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. I don't belong to one particular monoculture or anything. That kind of thing I developed since childhood. And I'm deeply rooted in the enormous Indian tradition. The village in which I was born was deprived of any progress. There were no roads. It was in the mountains, Satpura, and no progress. And after many years of education and research and teaching and learning, I have discovered that progress is not a feature of civilization. It is just a form. And without that form, you can still be civilized. With its extreme complexities, the Indian tradition has innumerable dialects. In my village alone, I had about 7 dialects, different dialects, and people understood each other very well. Languages, we have about 5 languages in my own village. Sects, religions, castes, cultures, the only one of the kind and size in the history of human civilization. Ours is the oldest living literary tradition, from the Panchatantra stories found in the Harappan excavations to the present day classics. This is a continuous tradition, incomparable anywhere in human history. And I'm very proud of this. And of all the great traditions, literary traditions in the world, namely the Western tradition, the Middle Eastern tradition, or North African, we may say, and the Eastern tradition, I think the oldest and the living and the richest is our own. This I am not saying out of exaggeration and false pride, but by a very clear record of continuous production of classics and performance of all arts related to literature. The folk songs this is the reflection I get from my own village, the folk song, the folk tales, the folk drama, the ancient epics. All illiterate people have been nurturing these arts, which everyone knew in my village. The epics, the medieval religions, and the Aryan, pre-Aryan, Munda, ostrich, and primitive gods and goddesses. All of them worshipped and respected in my village. And although I am an atheist, I greatly respect this theist tradition because it connects you to the whole antiquity. The great saint poets like Tukaram and Kabir and the Ajanta caves, which were just 25 kilometers from my village, which we used to visit quickly, I haven't seen parallels of this anywhere. This again, I'm not speaking out of false pride, but these are our picture galleries. And somehow these have kept all our traditions of arts alive. When I later learned, taught, researched, and read a lot about world literature, all that was within my small village has given me the sense of the tradition which is unparalleled. And not only that, it was a revelation to me that the two great Indian arts which were practiced in my village, namely the Indian music and Indian dance and music, have been the greatest arts untouched by any foreign influence, and that is why they are great. While the arts which have been spoiled and degraded by foreign influences are literature and painting. They are the most degraded ones because of constant borrowing and degradation of the first kind. So these influences have, particularly during the colonial period, resonated us from our tradition. I respect the Indian tradition because it has been constantly borrowing and reforming itself. It has been forever changing. There is no period in history, I have discovered myself, where the Indian tradition has not changed. Even today it is changing. Within 50 years, in my own family, the parents who were illiterate, my grandchildren are computer handling people. This is the change which every generation has been experiencing in India, and we should be proud of this. And we are also expert in adapting, in revolutionizing ourselves, and also we change all the time. This is perhaps the greatest boons of the Indian culture, and what is more important is the more we change, the more we remain the same. This has been the magic of Indian culture. Now, these values have inspired me to become a writer, and I think the credit of whatever I am belongs to these sources. Although I don't deny that I am also indebted to many influences and many foreign influences also, but the sources I believe are more important than influences. Now, I don't consider therefore myself more intelligent than my ancestors, because obviously the ancestors are more in number and they are more intelligent than you, and therefore I have no courage to criticize and even to object to what they have done. Possible only when they are acculturated, only when the seed comes from outside. The soil remains, but the seed has to come from outside. That is the meaning of acculturation sociologically. Unfortunately, this has taken away all the creativity from our art, especially literature. And we have therefore we have been locating non-creative activities everywhere. This has to be located, identified, and I'm sure it requires racial intelligence. I believe in the Hindus have that intelligence, and in the subcontinent, this intelligence will win over, and this acculturation will stop, and we will have a reverse acculturation. Whatever has been done, as our neighbors say, after all, we are slaves, and ultimately the slave culture dominates even today. The way I am speaking in English is a sign of being slave. But that is supposed to be the condition of a slave, a necessary condition of a slave. The next generation has to be more intelligent than this generation, using a foreign language, the foreign techniques, the foreign literary forms, and revert to our own forms. And this will require reverse acculturation. How that is to be done is obviously a matter of conjecture, and it will be decided by the more intelligent generation that is coming up in the next few days. That is my hope. Finally, I would like to end my speech by expressing my gratitude to Jnanpith Trust, because they have connected me to very great writers of the past, of which really I am very proud, and I may not be of that particular standard, but I will try to reach to that standard. And I also very grateful to our dear Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, who has been present here to offer me the award, and to all of you who have been patiently listening to my monologue. Thank you. I'm sorry for this.
अर्थपूर्ण वक्तव्य के लिए श्री भालचंद्र नेमाड़े जी का धन्यवाद। पतंग मेरे लिए ऊर्ध्व गति का उत्सव। पतंग मेरे लिए ऊर्ध्व गति का उत्सव, मेरा सूर्य की ओर प्रयाण, मेरा सूर्य की ओर प्रयाण। मेरी पतंग उलझती नहीं, मेरी पतंग उलझती नहीं, वृक्षों की डालियों में फंसती नहीं। आपको यह जानकर सुखद आश्चर्य होगा कि यह पंक्तियां माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की कविता से हैं। उनके जीवन का यह अछूता पहलू है। हमें बड़ी प्रसन्नता है कि हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री साहित्य कर्मी भी हैं और साहित्य प्रेमी भी। मैं आग्रह करूंगा हमारे मुख्य अतिथि से कि वे आज के इस शुभावसर पर अपने आशीर्वचन कहें।
आज के समारंभ के केंद्र बिंदु श्रीमान भालचंद्र नेमाड़े जी, श्रीमान नामवर सिंह जी, श्री अखिलेश जैन जी, त्रुष्ला जी, उपस्थित सभी वरिष्ठ महानुभाव, मैं अपने आप में गौरव महसूस कर रहा हूं, क्योंकि जब हम छोटे से और ज्ञानपीठ पुरस्कार की खबर आती थी तो बड़े ध्यान से उसको पढ़ते थे। और जिसके मन की अवस्था ये रही हो, उसको वहां आकर के बैठने के लिए अवसर मिले, इससे बड़ी बात क्या होती है। आज का दिवस थोड़ा मन को आंदोलित करने वाला दिन है। भयंकर भूकंप ने मानव मन को बड़ा परेशान किया हुआ है। पता नहीं कितना भयंकर नुकसान हुआ होगा, अभी तो जानकारी आ रही है। नेपाल की पीड़ा भी हमारी ही पीड़ा है। मैंने नेपाल के प्रधानमंत्री जी से, राष्ट्रपति जी से बात की और विश्वास दिलाया है कि सवा करोड़ देशवासी आपकी इस मुसीबत आपके साथ है। ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करते हैं कि इस भयंकर हादसे को सहने की परमात्मा ताकत दे। जिन परिवारजनों पर आपत्ति आई है उनको शक्ति दे। भारत में भी कम अधिक मात्रा में कुछ न कुछ प्रभाव हुआ है, उनके प्रति भी मेरी संवेदना है। ये गोल्डन जुबिली का अवसर है, 50वां समारोह है। समाज जीवन में तकनीकी विकास कितना ही क्यों न हुआ हो, वैज्ञानिक विकास कितना ही क्यों न हुआ हो, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ मानवीय संवेदनाओं का भी अगर विस्तार नहीं होता है, ऊंचाइयों को छूने का प्रयास नहीं होता है, तो पता नहीं मानव जात का क्या होगा। और इसलिए विज्ञान और टेक्नोलॉजी के युग में साहित्यिक साधना मानवीय के संवेदनाओं को उजागर करने के लिए, मानवीय संवेदनाओं को संजोने के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी औषध के रूप में काम करता है। और जो साहित्य रचना करता है, आजकल आप कंप्यूटर के लिए सॉफ्टवेयर बना दें और सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर प्रोग्रामिंग के साथ एक 2000 शब्द डाल दें और कंप्यूटर को कह दें कि भाई देखिए उसमें से कुछ बना करके निकाल दो, तो शायद वो बना देता है, लेकिन वो प्रोडक्शन होगा, वो असेंबल करेगा, क्रिएशन नहीं कर सकता है। और ये क्रिएटिविटी जो है वो अनुभूति की अभिव्यक्ति होती है। वह एक दर्शन के रूप में प्रवाहित होती है और तब जाकर के पीढ़ियों तक सामान्य मानवी के जीवन को स्पर्श करती रहती है। हमारे यहां परंपरा से निकली हुई कहावतें सदियों के प्रभाव से, अनुभव से संजो करके बनी हुई होती है। और हमने देखा होगा एक कहावत जीवन को कितनी दिशा दर्शक बन जाती है। एक कहावत कितना बड़ा उपदेश दे जाती है। पता तक नहीं है ये कहावत का रचयिता कौन था, नियंता कौन था, किस कालखंड में निर्माण हुआ है, कुछ पता नहीं है। लेकिन आज भी और समाज के अनपढ़ से अनपढ़ व्यक्ति से लेकर के वैश्विक ज्ञान संपादन करने का जिसको अवसर मिला है, उनको भी वो एक ही कहावत जोड़ पाती है। यानी हम कल्पना कर सकते हैं कि कितना सामर्थ्य होगा कि जो नीचे से लेकर के आसमान तक की अवस्था को स्पर्श कर सकता है, जोड़ सकता है। इतना ही नहीं, वो बीते हुए युग को, वर्तमान को और आने वाले युग को भी जोड़ने का सामर्थ्य रखता है। मैंने कहावत का उल्लेख इसलिए किया कि हम भली भांति रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में इसका उपयोग करते हैं। साहित्य की ताकत उससे अनेकों गुना ज्यादा होती है। और सर्जक जब करता है, मैं नहीं मानता हूं कि वो वाचक के लिए कुछ लिखता है, मैं नहीं मानता।
झी 24 तास रहा एक पाऊल पुढे।